to cover the Floyd Mayweather fight.
Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So it's very emotional, this, because this is terrible, terrible, terrible news. Ricky Hatton has died. And for people who are in different countries, maybe you don't know about Ricky. I don't know. I think he's probably famous all over the world. He'd fought in Las Vegas. He's a famous boxer. He's from my neck of the woods. He's from Manchester, which is where I was born. And he's a Manchester City fan, as I am. And he's been found deceased in his property this morning. And although we know cause of death has been given, the police have said that there's no suspicious circumstances. Reading between the lines to what people have been posting, Amir Khan, other boxers, it does seem that maybe Ricky has self-deleted. He has tried to do that before. He's had a long history of mental health issues, bless him. He's only 46 years old. You know, boxing's a funny old game, isn't it? I mean, I love boxing. I'm sorry, but I do. And some people hate boxing and think it's a terrible thing. But I like boxing, and I think as long as it's controlled properly. But it does take a toll on people. I mean, he's only 46 years old. He does look a lot older, to be honest. We're gonna, this is Sky News that I've got going on in the background. When it comes to their headlines, we will listen into it. I've got it on mute at the moment just so that I can talk. And I'm sorry about the state of me. I wasn't planning to do a live today. I've got a premiere going out later. I wasn't planning on going live, so I had to get ready really quickly. Anyway, it doesn't matter what I look like, does it? But when I saw this, I just had to come on live because I had to give a tribute to him. And you know what? I had to raise a glass to him. Just rest in peace. I hope he's at peace. He's had a sort of a life that should have been a good life. A boxing champion. He received an MBE. He's got all these medals, and so many good things have happened to him in his life. But so many bad things as well. His main struggles have been with addiction and mental health issues. Then there was fallings out with his family. Boxers can get by the people, their managers and things like that. They can get used and manipulated. Maybe that happened to Ricky. Now, he's supposed to come out of retirement in a couple of months. He was due to fight again. Maybe that's put pressure on him. Who knows? Who knows what finally, if it's true that he did self-delete, who knows what finally sort of pushed him into it. We just don't know. We don't know, and nobody knows what's going through people's heads. And people look at famous people and think, oh, they look like they've got it all together. There's there'll be social media making him look really happy and everything's brilliant. And of course, as we know, we just don't know what struggles somebody is under behind the scenes. Now, as I say, I like boxing, and I believe in, boxing is a very good discipline for young people who lose their way. Quite a lot of young people have been saved by going to boxing clubs, etc. Boxing teaches discipline. So it's strange with Ricky. Ricky's gone through phases where he's, been in top shape, obviously, for a fight or whatever. And then he's gone through phases where he's just lost control completely and been going out and, drinking, taking substances, etc., and letting it all go. And then he has to go back to, square one, if you like, and get in shape for the next fight. And he had a fight coming up. And I do think I've got to say, at 46 years old, he did look older than 46. I think his lifestyle has taken its toll on him. But, you know, I know people personally who boxing has saved from mental health issues as well. So, you know, not famous boxers like Ricky, but, you know, boxing is a good discipline as well for saving people. So, yeah, I'm very much in favour of boxing, as long as it's controlled. I mean, not how it used to be years ago when people were virtually killed, weren't they, in the ring because there were no rules, proper rules. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about controlled boxing, the discipline of the training, the fitness that you need to be a boxer is unbelievable, you know, because you know, you might say, oh, 3 minutes in the ring, like a 3-minute round. It lasts forever. It feels like forever. And the fitness level you need just to keep standing and punching and taking punches for 1 round, never mind 10 rounds or whatever, is incredible. So it takes an awful lot of self-discipline. But anyway, as I say, I wanted to come on. I wanted to make a tribute. Now, ironically enough, of course, he's famous for being a Manchester City fan as well. And today is the Manchester Derby. Later on today, let's have a look what time. In Manchester at 5:30 Spanish time, so 4:30. That will be, oh God, I get all, you know what I'm like with times, I'm rubbish. So if it's 5:30 Spanish time, that will only be 4:30 English time, won't it? 4 o'clock, does it start? Anyway, this afternoon, anyway, is the Manchester Derby. Like, I've got this premiere coming out later, and I changed the time because I thought it would, I think I might have changed the time to the wrong time anyway. I'm going to look at that. I might have changed the time so that it's right in the middle of the Derby. I have to have a look at that. I'm rubbish with numbers and times. And this, it is a home match for Manchester City. I think he was expected to go there today. So, you know, obviously something's happened. Maybe it's not a self-deletion thing. Maybe it was an accident. I don't know. It's just that the comments that people, famous people, have been putting up, other boxers, etc., especially Amir Khan, lead me to believe that this probably was a self-deletion, which makes it even more sad, doesn't it? That somebody would do that. Anyway, when the headlines come back on here on Sky News, we'll listen to them. I just want to say a quick hello to people, see what people are saying in chat. Hi, Angel. Hi, Fluffy. Hi, Tracy. Yeah, lots of, hi, Matthew. So very sad. You know, and most people know who, certainly British people know who Ricky Hatton is. Now, something I wanted to say, and we'll watch the headlines in a minute, Sky News. I'll turn the sound up so you can hear the headlines because it'll be about Ricky. If anyone's suffering with mental health issues, or mental health is the biggest killer, I think, at the moment. Kills more people one way or another. Either it kills the person with the mental health issues, or it leads to them to kill other people. Just, it's such a huge problem, isn't it? It's worse than cancer because you can't see it, you can't deal with it. People look like they're doing okay and they're not doing okay. And as far as men's mental health in particular, I'm just looking at, because you know, it is more difficult for men because they tend to not have friends that they can talk to like girls do. But obviously girls do self-delete as well. I'm not saying they don't. But I wanted to show you about Andy's Man Club. I think I might have mentioned this ages ago. This is a UK organisation. It's grown and grown all over Britain now. Andy's Man Club. It's okay to talk. So I'm going to talk about that when we've watched the headlines and just watched about, let me just show you about it. But it's all these cookie things drive you mad, don't they? It's okay to talk. You can find a group anywhere in the UK. You don't have to go along. You know, you can contact them. You can email them. Andy's Man Club are a men's suicide prevention charity offering free to attend peer-to-peer support groups across the United Kingdom and online. Sorry, it's just so sad, isn't it? We want to end the stigma surrounding men's mental health and help men through the power of conversation. So we're going to have a look at that in a moment. First of all, let's look at these headlines, which will be coming up. It's just heartbreaking. So, as I say, I had a fight coming up. Sorry, I need to turn that down again until it comes on. Oh, here we go.
It's quite possible that the person most taken aback by the huge turnout at yesterday's Unite the Kingdom demonstration
Oh no, I don't want to talk about this.
The hard right activist known as Tommy Robinson.
Oh, for God's sake, I definitely don't want to talk about that. Right. Hang on a minute. Definitely don't want to talk about that. Where's the video about Ricky? Thought it was going to go to the headline. Anyway, never mind. Let's have a look at Amir Khan's tribute. This is what makes me feel, why has he made this tribute? Makes me feel that this is a case of self-deletion. Former boxer Amir Khan is amongst the first to pay tribute to Ricky Hatton. Today we lost not only one of Britain's greatest boxers, but a friend, a mentor, a warrior, Ricky Hatton. As fighters, we tell ourselves we're strong. We train, we sweat, we take hits, we get up. But sometimes the hardest fight happens in silence, in the mind. Mental health is not weakness, it's a part of being human. And we must talk about it, we must reach out, we must lean on each other. Ricky, thank you for everything, for your fights, your moments of glory, your grit. Thank you for pushing us, showing us what's possible. To everyone reading this, if you're hurting or struggling, you are not alone. Talk, reach out, because we need more light, more compassion, more understanding. And he ends his tribute by saying that Ricky will always have his place in the ring of our memories. Oh, Micah Richards, who's a former City defender, he's come out to say, call him a man of the people. Of course, he was a big City fan, he was an icon, and he added that the news is devastating. And of course, you know, the derby today, he would have been there. He's had a box here many times, and to get this news now, it just feels surreal. Someone so young, I mean, 46, you know, I know if you're 20, you think 46 is ancient, but if you've lived as long as I have, you think, God, I wish I was 46 again. You know, he's so young. He's so young. So there he is at the Etihad Stadium. There'll definitely 100% be some sort of tribute to Ricky today before the match starts. And, you know, obviously I hope Manchester City win. I would hope that they won anyway because I'm a City fan. But even more so now, I hope that Manchester City win for Ricky. And they'll be feeling that as well. So let's just go back to Andy's Man Club. You know, they're now serving the whole UK. So if you're in the UK, I mean, if you're in a different country, I don't, you know, I'd have to, I know I'm concentrating on the UK. That's because Ricky's from the UK. And he's from Stockport, which is near where I come from in South Manchester. We operate a network of face-to-face groups nationwide, stretching from the southwest of England into Wales and up to the north of Scotland, and online groups for people who are further afield. So, you know, those of you who maybe don't want to attend in person, that's quite scary, isn't it? maybe eventually, maybe if you start online, and maybe eventually you will go along in person. But, you know, our groups are free of charge. So you don't have to, you know, it doesn't matter if you've got financial difficulties. Completely confidential, a place that is free of any judgment. You can simply turn up and talk as much or as little as you desire with no pressure. This is I appreciate these groups so much. You know, this is, if you're a man, and these are just for men, you know, if you're a man with mental health problems, this is where you should go. Don't turn to Andrew Tate and idiots like that. They're not going to sort out your mental health. They're going to make you feel worse, because you just feel that if you haven't got loads of money or whatever, or you're not famous, you know, nobody will want you or whatever. Go to these sort of groups. These are the places that will help your mental health. So free support groups nationwide, running every Monday from 7 p.m. except bank holidays. In these groups, men can open up about the storms affecting their lives in a safe, judgment-free and non-clinical environment. Our clubs are designed to be free of pressure. No obligation to speak. You can just listen if you want. Thousands of men use our sessions every week, and an army of volunteers on board. This movement is continuing to grow week by week. We firmly believe in the power of talking, and hashtag it's okay to talk. The aim of the club is to provide men with a safe space where they feel comfortable to talk and open up about their experiences in a room free of judgment. And I believe their story, the Andy's Man Club takes its name from Andrew Roberts, who was a man who sadly took his own life aged 23 in early 2016. Andy's family had no inkling that he was suffering or struggling to the extent that he would do this. And as a result, they looked deeper into male self-deletion and men's mental health. Yeah, often, you know, you just don't know. You have no idea often that your loved one, be it a man, a woman or whatever, sometimes you have no idea that they're even thinking that way until they do it. Other times you do have an idea. Maybe they try it and they fail. Maybe they talk about it and people say, oh, people who talk about it don't do it. That's a load of rubbish. You know, people who talk about it do it. They do it. You know, I know that from experience. You just don't know. Now, you know, I don't want people to think, because at the end of the day, if in the end somebody decides to do it and does it, it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. And if you're in a position where that's happened to you in your family, a group I would recommend is Survivors of Suicide, of Self-Deletion. They're very good at helping you get things in perspective, you know, for the families, for the loved ones of the people that have taken their lives, because it leaves you in a very dark place. You know, quite maybe, you know, I know people that do this self-deletion, they're not thinking of other people at the time, you know, when they do it. But if they knew, really, it leaves your loved ones in a very dark place. It's a very strange feeling afterwards. And, you know, quite often people whose loved ones have done it end up doing it as well, because there's a pull. It's a very difficult thing to explain. So yeah, if you've actually experienced this, Andy's Man Club is for people that are struggling, men that are struggling to go and find help to try and get you out of that place. If you're a person that's gone through that with a family member and you're struggling to cope with the fact of what they did, you need a group called Survivors of Suicide. Let's have a look at them. Oh, I shouldn't be saying that bloody word, because, you know, YouTube doesn't like it. Yeah, is that the UK one? So this would be the sort of group you would need. Peer-led support to adults impacted by self-deletion loss. Don't feel bad about, you know, if you've experienced this in your family and you just don't know where to turn, because it's so difficult for the family members and the loved ones as well. These are the sort of survivors, it looks like they've changed their name slightly, survivors of bereavement by self-deletion. There's always a group out there that, you know, look, email support, phone support, local and virtual groups, online forum. It's not for everyone to actually go along to a group. But having said that, some people prefer to go to a group. They like the human contact. Other people prefer the distance. You know, you find something that is right for you, you know. Hi, Annie. Hi, Darren. It's very sad news, isn't it? Very, very sad news. Very, very sad news. Let's see. Unfortunately, Sky News, they started talking about politics instead, and so let's see. Has he gone back to talking about Ricky? I don't look at anything else. I can't stay on long, actually, anyway, because, yeah, no, it's all politics on there at the moment. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on. So sad, you know, you think how people that you don't even know can affect. God, look at the state of me. Sorry, I just got close up. I think, sorry, I'm going to have to go off camera. As I said, I wasn't expecting to go live today. Now, I'll be back later with a premiere. I've got to work out the time of it because it is the derby today. It's Man United, City are playing Man United at the Etihad. They will definitely 100% be, what's the word, a tribute to Ricky. Ricky was a very big Manchester City fan, as Micah Paris was just saying there. He had a box there. He would go and watch the matches. But he won't be there today, but I'm 100% certain there'll be some sort of tribute for him. So, yeah, any problems with mental health if you're in the UK for men and his men's club, but of course, you know, you can always contact the Samaritans and his man's club, obviously is for men in particular, but there'll be, you know, there's always help online, you know, and there's not many people who go through their life without having these thoughts at some point. Things can be overwhelming, can't they? You know, there could be lots of reasons. You know, it might not be substance abuse. It could be financial problems. It could be relationship problems. It can be domestic abuse. It can be health, you know, physical health problems. We all get down. We all get depressed. And when our situation, depending on what it is, when we can't see a way out, there's not many of us who haven't at least thought of, you know, had it flip through their minds. You know, for some people, it grows to be an obsession, and it seems like Ricky has fought his demons for quite a long time. But 46 is so young, isn't it, in the scheme of things? And yeah, he had a fight planned later on this year. Maybe that was just too much pressure for him. And who knows? You just don't know what's going through people's minds. So be kind. I mean, genuinely be kind to people. God, you know, I watched a couple of YouTube videos this morning, people saying in one breath, oh, yeah, be kind. And then the next minute, literally, you know, 1 minute sort of saying how terrible it was about Irina, the Ukrainian woman murdered on the train and this, that and the other. And then the next minute saying the most horrible things about women that you could imagine. And, you know, you think it's unbelievable. All these hate channels, all just slagging each other off. And then they're saying, oh, but be kind, you know, let's think about Irena and let's think about Charlie Kirk. But they don't think about, you know, really literally saying nasty, horrible things about their, you know, their own viewers sometimes and stuff like that. Just unbelievable. So, yeah, but when I say be kind, I mean really be kind. I mean, you have your opinions. If you don't agree with something, you know, you don't, that's fair enough. But actually attacking someone, especially a woman. So in one breath saying that it's terrible about the death of Irena on the train, and then the next minute calling women the most horrible names that you can imagine. How is that? You know, what's wrong with people? Something wrong with people like that, really. And people who should know better. You know, these are not kids saying it. Anyway, I'm not going to go on ranting about that. Hi, Jepsy. People are unkind, aren't they? You know, like really, literally. You know, anyway, let's hope that we're not going to do that, are we? We're not going to do that. I just wanted to come on, as I say, I am going to show myself just to raise a glass again for Ricky, because I'm on here for Ricky, as I say, from my neck of the woods, another City fan. I'm a big boxing fan, as it, you know, my son, he is a boxer, you would say, you know, because he's trained, you know, boxing saved him in a lot of ways from a lot of things that were going on. You know, boxing can be a very good thing. You know, he's sort of asleep at the moment because it was his birthday yesterday, so he didn't get in till about 9 o'clock this morning. But I'm almost dreading him getting up and to tell him about this, because he thought a lot, you know, he thinks a lot of boxers, but Ricky Hatton is that bit special to us, because my son, although he wasn't born in Manchester, but he lived there for a couple of years, you know, and he's big on boxing and stuff like that. So this will affect him, and I almost don't want to tell him. And then, of course, it's the derby today, and unfortunately, number one son is a United fan. Though he wishes he wasn't now, but, you know, he became a United fan years ago, when United were doing a lot better than they're doing now, of course. And so, you know, obviously I want City to win. And I think, actually, my son, he'd probably want City to win as well, for Ricky, if nothing, not for me, but for Ricky. So anyway, I hope you're at peace, Ricky. Condolences to your family. It's heartbreaking news, and it's funny, when it first came out, it's a big shock. You know, I saw the news, it was Peter Bleaksley actually who broke it on Twitter, as far as I was concerned. I then broke it. You know, I mentioned it before even Sky News, but that's thanks to Peter Bleaksley. I've forgotten what I was saying then. So anyway, I just hope he's at peace. Hope he's at peace. Condolences to his family. Honestly, I wouldn't, you know, I know, anyway, it's the most horrible thing. If it turns out that this is a self-deletion, that's even worse, because, you know, the family will all everybody feels guilty after a self-deletion, but they shouldn't, because this is a choice that Ricky has made. And, you know, it doesn't make it any easier, but, you know, you should not feel guilty, is what I'm trying to say, if that's what's happened. But yeah, there'll be more tributes, won't they, coming in, be talked about a lot. But anyway, cheers, and I hope you're together like with all the other famous boxers that have left us over the years, but you were too young. You were too young to go. But anyway, thank you for the memories, and thank you for what's the word that I want to use? You know, he's given people a lot of pleasure, a lot of entertainment, and thank you for that. And I'm sorry. Okay, I've got to go. I'll see you really soon. Cheers, Ricky. Cheers, everybody. Have a lovely Sunday. I'll see you in the premiere later. See you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Thank you.